Dun, 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 dun. Mama just killed a man. Put a gun against his head. Pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama,
What?
life has just begun. But
not
now
joining in on
I've
this.
gone
Gone
and
and
thrown it all away.
I don't even like AC/DC.
Mama. Ooh.
I'm glad you did something because I was about to get violent.
Okay. Zach, please hit the intro before that continues. Bring us home, Zach.
Hey guys, welcome to the Too Heavy Wrestling Podcast. You got me, Zach. You got Randy right next to me. You got Mr. Clayton, and you got Mr. Eddie over there. This week, we thought we would go through what we would think our fantasy Money in the Bank ladder match would be for both the men's and the women's side from all of history.
Now, Eddie, you kind of came up with the rules a little bit on the parameters that we were sticking to, so why don't you take us through that before we give our picks?
Yes, so we're going through 8 people to add to this Money in the Bank match. They cannot be former world champions for SmackDown, Raw, or WWE ECW. And you are allowed to have one wild card, which means anyone from any promotion out of all of history.
And we did men's and women's.
In women's, same parameters, except you are allowed 2 wild cards.
Yep.
So, who wants to go through their list first?
Are we doing men's or women's first?
Let's do
We'll
women's.
go through our round of men's, and then we'll go back around to do the women's.
We could do that. He said women's
Yeah, I
first.
did.
What do you
Oh,
think?
did you?
Yeah.
Well, we could do it the other way around.
No, it's too late. We're going to do the men. So you want me to go first?
I don't care. We can go in.
Okay.
We'll go in
order.
some order where either Zach goes first or Eddie goes first. I don't care.
All right. So let me know who has who from my list. I guess we'll start there, and then we'll start with you for the women. Let's do that. Okay. So first of all, I have Sami Zayn.
Not put Sami Zayn.
All right. No
That's
Sami
a
Zayn.
great pick.
Okay. So did you have Sami Zayn? No. Okay. I had Shelton Benjamin.
Yes.
You had Shelton?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Okay. I had Roddy Piper.
I did have Piper.
Okay. Well, these are going to be good lists then.
Yeah, for sure.
Scott Hall.
Yes.
You didn't have Scott Hall?
I didn't have Scott Hall.
All right. I had John
You had Razor
Morrison.
Ramon.
Frick up.
I had John Morrison.
I did not have John Morrison.
I had. He was in WWE and he did have this name, but he was more known throughout history elsewhere. I put Too Cold Scorpio.
Oh, what was his WWE
Flash
name?
Funk.
Flash Funk, yes.
And my wild card was Will Ospreay.
It's a good one.
Did you have Will Ospreay? Nice. Okay, so we're gonna have much different lists than I
Yeah,
thought we
this
would.
is going to be more spread out than I thought it was going to be already.
All right, let's
And
hear it.
who would you have winning years?
Yeah, who wins?
I would have Roddy Piper winning.
That's a good one. That's a good pick.
Oh, got the aforementioned Shelton Benjamin, Kennedy.
Good pick.
I didn't.
He
have him, but
should've.
yeah.
It's so funny because he did
I didn't pick
win
past Money in the Bank winners either. So
Well, good for you.
Ooh, okay,
That
yeah.
wasn't a parameter.
What do you think? You're better than him?
no.
Okay.
None. Chad Gable.
Good.
Nice. That's a good one.
That's an entertaining pick. I think we
Yeah.
all know he's not winning the match, but he'll have some good spots.
Redemption Moment. Mercury.
I don't know about that one.
That's tough. That's tough.
Chris Masters.
Ooh.
This is much different than I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
It's all 2005.
Not all.
Close.
No, nothing.
Hold on, before is your next one Sylvain Grenier?
No.
Oh, the
When
other
he was a
one?
male mod.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
That's Santino Morella,
Okay, great pick.
Nestle, Shane O'Mac.
Shane McMahon.
He's a good one.
He would be good for in the match. Okay, who wins that match?
Shane McMahon.
Nepotism always wins. Oh, all right. We'll go through my match. Roddy Piper, I did have. And I didn't put Scott Hall, but I put Razor Ramon. And I think that's a very good distinction to make because Razor deserves it. I think Scott Hall I liked Razor more than Scott. I don't want to talk bad on Scott because he was good too for what he was, but he never scratched the bottom of the main event the way that Razor did.
Okay.
Mr. Perfect.
Good pick.
Anyone put Kurt Hennig?
Nope.
I did put LA Knight in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hope for that.
My favorite for this year.
Yep. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
You
I
good
put
one.
him.
Ricky
Yep.
just didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
But
Ricky
Joey
Steamboat.
Mercury did, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he
right.
got his face destroyed.
British Bulldog. British Bulldog made mine. Farouk.
I don't know.
Putting a lot of big meat men in yours.
Yeah, I want to see big meaty men slapping meat. And then for my wild card, I put Stu Hart. Who wouldn't want to see that?
We're gonna review all of our lists after this one.
And then as far as winning goes, I think I'm gonna give it to Steamboat.
That's a good pick.
I think
Yeah.
Steamboat's gonna win that one.
All right. So my list, I had Shelton Benjamin.
Okay.
I had Paul London.
Good
God
pick.
damn it.
Yes.
Good pick. Good.
A great pick.
I had Scott Hall.
Yep.
I had Owen Hart.
Good pick
I-
too.
His dad edged him out. I almost put Owen.
I put Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko's a really good pick too.
Dean Malenko would be a good one.
My wild card was Kenny Omega.
Very good.
I'm surprised you're the only one that put that.
I thought Will Ospreay would do more
Yeah.
in the match, high flying wise. That's the
Well,
reason.
depending
I
on
put
the
him.
year, I can't tell the difference between Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega anyway. So
And then I had Ricky Steamboat.
Yep.
And my last one was Spike Dudley.
That's a good pick. I like
Ooh.
that one.
Why needs to take a bump?
I was gonna say someone's got to do the bulldog out of the ring
Yeah.
through a table.
Yep.
Who wins?
right.
Who wins yours?
So yeah, who wins yours?
It was up in the air, but it would be between Dean Malenko and Owen.
It's Spike Dudley.
All London's a really good
Paul
pick.
London is such a good pick.
Mm.
Okay, now my question to you guys is: who of all these matches, you can't vote for your own? Which one would you want to watch the most?
Zach's has a really, really good lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
For the time period I grew up in, I would pick Clayton's.
Pick X. Turn my brain off. Stupid.
Just watch people obliterate each other.
Yes.
I think I would also, I would also pick Zax. I think if I wanted to watch a good high flying ladder match, I would watch Zax. If I wanted to watch someone finally get what they deserve, I would watch Eddie's.
Now, going over the list, I guess most surprising pick to everybody. Let's try that too. So I'm gonna start.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
Fucking Stu Hart.
Stu Hart, dude. Stu Hart didn't even really get to do anything in the WWE, but he is one of those he's one of those background people that has contributed so much to WWE indirectly that if you can fantasy book something and at least give him a limelight, I think he deserves it. He's a Hall of Famer in the WWE, but that's like the only thing he did
Right.
for the WWE. So, yeah, no, I feel like for a fantasy booking where there are barely any rules, I feel like he was a good pick.
Definitely.
Spike Dudley,
Yeah, mainly.
that was the one that got me,
just Spot Fest, basically.
That is
Yeah.
a big spot fest.
100%.
Other than the purposely oddball Stu Hart, but yes.
Actually,
Yeah.
Farouk, that's another one I want to talk
Actually,
about.
no, I take that back. Yeah.
Dude, why would
I
you
feel
not
like he'd
want
be
Farouk?
scared to climb the ladder, if I'm gonna be
You
honest.
go, damn, and then run off.
Dude, he would add so much because you gotta figure because when I say Farouk, well, I made this distinction with Razor Ramon, so I probably should have. I meant Ron Simmons from like 1995 WCW.
That, yeah,
Like
a little more.
WCW World Heavyweight Champion Ron Simmons in this match would be amazing. One half of the APA
Okay.
would be like all right still, or like put him up there as the Nation and just have a run in with all those guys.
That'd
like,
be good.
You
I'd
know,
like that.
Farouk has
You've
potential.
justified it.
Tap out.
Or Seth Rollins at a house show.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Now,
just completely shredded it.
I have two people I wanted to add that no one named, and I don't know if you guys have that too. Adrian Neville,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
and then Savio Vega. Savio Vega would be interesting in that match to watch because I couldn't see him doing very many ladders. Well, climbing the ladder spots, but beating people up with said ladder. That'd be good. And then Neville, we've seen in the Money in the Bank
Yeah,
match.
Neville was
before.
interesting because he's almost been forgotten in WWE
Right.
lore.
Yeah.
And we're but somebody had ECW championship doesn't
Yeah,
count.
right.
That was me.
Actually,
Well,
do you know?
Hold on. I said WWE.
Oh, in that case, Swamp Joey Mercury for Sabu.
There we go.
There we
Uh,
go.
We did it.
I will say this: other than Owen Hart for Stu Hart, my hard number 9 was Evan Bourne.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's also a good
Was
one.
Evan Bourne
Still concerned.
against all the other guys in
Yes.
here? Yeah, no, I mean he's definitely dying, but for our entertainment.
I'd like that. I think that'd
Yeah.
be a good pick.
Right.
And how about you?
In terms of surprise pick, none of them really surprised me. I mean, like I said, Farouk
Can
was
I
kind
see
of off
your
the-
list again? Let me see your list real quick. I won't peek.
Yeah, I
ahead
was
to your
like I said for
rankings.
Clayton's match, it was more of like my
It's
era
just
of
way
where I
down
grew
the
up
list.
in. Yours was pretty
Yeah,
close
I
to
won't peek.
mine.
Yeah.
It had a lot of the same people, but it was like all the same
Right.
caliber. But there was not really much of a surprise because I think we all have the gist of who we'd like to see in that match.
Yeah, Viscera. That's the one that got me.
Said Viscera?
He
I
said
did say
Viscera.
Oh, he said
completely
Viscera?
went out my
Yeah.
ear.
Big Daddy V.
No. Viscera. Not Big Daddy
Daddy
V.
V.
Ugh.
I don't want.
In the purple suit, in the purple pajamas.
I was about to go classic Vince McMahon. About the extra move Viscera did in
Yeah.
bed suit. So no, I don't want that in my Money in the Bank match. Absolutely not.
Oh, there's a alternate universe where in the main event of ECW one night it was Big Daddy V versus
Boogeyman.
Brodus Clay.
Oh,
When you watch that match,
kind of. Well, no.
I would
not?
watch that match as a sacrifice for Viscera having a world title reign. I would
Want
watch.
Viscera to have a world title reign?
He kind of carried the ECW brand with no belt.
that's true. That's true. They built that brand around him until Ezekiel Jackson showed up.
This is off topic,
Are-
but this is really making me wonder where our women's list is going to be because we had some of the same picks, but I feel like the women's are way more dwindled down. of
By the way, I'm
choices.
going last on the women's picks.
I'm going left. I know mine's an crash disaster.
You think yours is?
Yes.
All right, fine. I'll go before you, and then
I'll
you
go
could.
first. I don't
Well,
care.
I wanted to add two more people to the list of potential that could go into that.
Yeah.
And kind of because I've recently watched a few matches from their feud. I already mentioned Super Crazy.
Yep.
What about Tajiri?
Oh yeah,
Tajiri is like a classic. Would be great in the match. Do not want to see him win.
Tarantula on the ladder, though?
Yeah, that would
Oh,
be
yeah.
great.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. He would be tarantula. He would be doing the tarantula to someone on the ladder, and someone would climb
Climb the
over
other
them
side,
to
yeah.
win.
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be the whole thing.
Yep.
Paul London. I love that pick so. I love Paul London.
You put
I was
TBK
so
in there with him.
surprised because we talked about him last week.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Because we talked about tag teams last week, and we brought him up. So I was like, when we were talking about Money in the Bank, I thought that was gonna be on your list.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
On
ago,
Lucha
whatever.
Underground, that they made that man like he was on a freaking acid trip all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but
No, I haven't.
he's just
No.
wearing a white hat, has a white jumpsuit on, has a literal a man in a bunny outfit following him to the ring.
Oh my god.
He's just going
So dumb. All right. Well, Zach, why don't you kick us off with your women's Money in the Bank ladder match?
All right. So my first pick is Karma.
I was
Great
very
pick.
I was gonna
Great
put
pick.
Awesome Khan as
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
Karma, but a good
Knowing
pick.
she was in WWE, I didn't have to waste a wild card
Right.
pick.
No,
Yeah.
that's good.
I have Sunny in there.
It's Sunny.
Dude, Sonny almost made my list.
I have Sunny
I
on
did
mine.
not have Sunny.
Yeah.
I have Stacy Keebler, but Dudley Boy's Stacy Keebler.
A good one.
I had Stacy Keebler on
Was
mine.
Stacy Keebler never women's champion?
Nope.
Wow.
And so is my next pick, Tori Wilson.
Wow, that's
surprising
surprising
that she
too.
wasn't a world champion the way they were pushing her.
Wow.
My 2 wild cards. One was Tessa Blanchard.
That's
That
a
would be cool.
good one.
That would be a great pick.
Britt Baker's my second one.
Yeah.
She's... Yep. Okay. Okay.
And then she's not necessarily a wild card 'cause she was in WWE, but Brooke Adams, otherwise known as Brooke
Yep.
Tessmacher.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
Miss
Impact.
Great pick.
Tessmacher, Yep.
And then Ashley Mazzaro.
Ooh,
I had
that'd be
Ashley
great.
Mazzaro on mine too.
That's good.
All right.
All right, Eddie,
So
you
me,
go ahead.
Kyrie Sane.
Mm-hmm.
I thought to me that was like pretty easy. Just,
Irie Sane. Oh yeah. Okay, never mind.
Io Shirai.
Yep.
I had Dakota Kai.
Your
I
picks
have
so
a lot
far,
more
a lot of
modern
modern.
people.
I was gonna say your picks so far could happen.
I only
one
have
day.
2 people who aren't modern.
Yeah.
I have Tegan Knox.
hmm
Healthy, knees,
yeah.
not messed up.
A
Tegan Knox.
functional
Yeah.
Tegan Knox.
I have Cora Jade.
Fantastic pick.
I have Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My 2 wild cards, I have Taylor Wilde. I don't know if you guys know who Taylor Wilde is.
remember.
It sounds familiar. Where's she from?
She's the person who beat Awesome Khan in TNA.
Yes, you are.
And then
correct,
I
yeah.
had the Scream Queen Daphne.
Oh, okay.
She
Yeah.
would like beat. She'd do anything to like make a
Mhm.
match look as fantastic as possible, though.
100%.
So, winning said match, I'm an EO mark, so I put EO.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't say who was going to win mine, but I would say.
No, 3 of my picks.
Do you want to go?
I
Well,
would
then,
say
well,
Tessa
then you go
Blanchard.
next
That's a
because none of my
Blanchard. That's a
picks
good
have been
pick
said.
too.
Okay. So on mine for the women's, I already had Sunny, Stacy Keebler, and Ashley Mazzaro.
Yep.
Cameron from the Funkadactyls.
Wow.
No, she's athletic.
Okay.
For this one, Jackie Gadaya,
All right, now
Who's Jackie Gadaya?
you're so
manager of the world greatest tag team.
Oh, okay.
manager of the greatest tag team.
She, Shelton Benjamin, and Charlie Hass had a pro.
Enrico.
I mean, yes, that too.
Rico when he was like straight up sexually harassing everybody in the WWE.
Ah.
When he went up to Scotty 2 Hottie and slithered towards him
Oh
and put
my
him in a
God. He actually, fun fact, Rico overtook the Billy and Chuck
yeah,
theme song, and that's one of my top 5 wrestling theme songs of all time.
Rico's themes.
Yep. You look so good to me. Ooh. Yeah, okay, go
All right,
ahead.
keep going.
Amy Weber.
Okay, now
Ooh,
you're
Weber.
now you're digging down a rabbit hole. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't even know who that is.
She was on JBL's chief.
Yeah,
yeah.
his
I know.
cabinet.
They don't know. I know.
Yeah.
And then my 2 wild cards were Ruby Soho
Yep,
and Jade Cargill.
that's a
Oh,
good.
Okay, yeah.
And
That's
obviously
yeah.
Jade wins that.
Yeah,
That-
good.
that's a
Yeah.
Jade showcase.
yeah,
say.
Jade wins that match.
Very
for
good
sure.
pick as opposed to everybody else.
Okay.
I'm building a
You ready for
star.
mine?
How many of all of ours have you had on your list?
No, none of you guys have said any of my picks.
Oh, okay.
Christ.
All right, are you ready?
I'm
No.
not really, but
Now, I made my list before Eddie decided to make rules, and I didn't change any of my picks.
boo.
Oh, look at this
No, he's
non-conformity.
breaking
Um,
rules.
Here we
Go
go.
to the
Ready?
back and make a new one.
2016 Rookie of the Year.
Oh, are we supposed to guess?
Does
Is this
anyone have-
WWE Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year?
2016 Rookie of the Year, according to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Nia Jax.
Okay.
WWE Raw Women's Champion, Nia Jax. Women's Tag Team Champion,
Yeah,
Nia
there
Jax.
it is.
Women's Tag Team Champion, Nia Jax, in parentheses, the second time. NXT Superstar, Nia Jax. Specifically, Nia Jax on the night that she broke Becky Lynch's nose.
Is your wild card free agent, Nia Jax?
No, hold on, I'll get there.
Okay.
Royal Rumble entrant number 30, Nia Jax. And then my wild card is Lena Fanine. That's Nia Jax's
Yeah, that's
real
what I
name.
thought. So who do you have win?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that the winner is Nia Jax shoot punching the other 7 in the nose, breaking them
All right.
like she did Becky
Okay,
Lynch.
do you ever-
So do you have a
Is
real
that-
list?
No, that was my list. But in a strong number 9, it's ODB.
That's a good pick.
There
I
you
like
go.
it.
I almost took out Lena Fanine and put in ODB.
Could have put an ODB.
I want you to know, before we even started this episode, we weren't actually even going to do a women's match. I suggested that we do it because I already had all of that typed out before we even started.
So
You need
dumb.
Jesus.
well, great. Awesome.
Yep.
Well,
man.
is there anyone we'd like to add to said list that we can think of off the top
Well,
of
hold
our
on,
heads?
you guys. Which of my picks are you most surprised about?
All of them.
I abstain from
You
answering
didn't
this
have
question.
my whole Nia Jax.
No, you're right. I didn't. The version of Nia Jax that yelled "my hole."
Yeah.
You left off the Nia Jax that cries to her cousin.
I mean, I was pretty satisfied with women's tag team champion Nia Jax, in parentheses, the second time. She had less accomplishments than I thought she did. I had to start getting creative about number 5.
NXT Superstar.
All right. Well, who are we most surprised about on real lists?
Honestly, well, everyone from yours is
Amy Weber.
Amy Weber.
So the outside of obviously structuring it to build a star from out of it,
Yeah.
I wanted the other one legit participant in Ruby Soho, and the
Yeah.
other participants not the first thing you think of from 2000 through like 2010, not the second thing you think of, not the third thing that you think of, but people that are still connected to be
Got
in
it.
that time period.
So second and third characters in the storyline.
Valets of importance beyond just being at ringside.
Got it. Okay.
Jackie Gata. That was also kind of
Oh,
surprising.
I touched your
You
feet.
footsie me,
God.
dude.
Yeah, you did. You touched my feetsies.
Both don't have socks on either.
Hey, look, my foot video on YouTube has over 1,500 views so
So
far.
uncomfortable.
We should have
So-
put we should have put behind it. You make it feel like it's magic.
Oh,
Jackie
goodness.
Gata, Amy Weber. Amy Weber, did she even have a match in WWE? I think she did like once, maybe.
I feel like if you showed up
I
on
was torn,
WWE,
honestly, I was
wow.
torn between Amy Weber and Joy Giovanni, but Amy Weber actually did stuff. And
Bars.
Joy Giovanni was just kind of there.
Yeah, she kind
I'll
of was
say if
just
you
there.
showed up on WWE TV, you kind of count minus Britt Baker's whole like that one 5-second spot she got on NXT that one
Yeah.
time. That was kind of awkward.
Honestly, Tiffany Stratton was almost on my list too. She's been just the athletic stuff that she does in the ring every week is
Sure.
fantastic.
Indy Hart will appreciate.
Indy Hartwell also just, I don't know. I can't really get behind her yet. It's been very hard to get behind Indy Hartwell in general.
Well,
You
they keep
can't get
teasing
behind
the way,
Index?
So we'll hopefully
I can get
that'll
behind
change things.
Index, but Indy Hartwell as an individual, no, I really can't. She needs someone to be there to like kind of help control the show.
It seems like it's going that way anyway. So
I'm surprised none of you guys put like any Nitro girl that isn't Tori Wilson or Stacy Keibler.
Who was DDP's?
I don't know, just whatever Nitro girl isn't one of those two that didn't do anything or make it anywhere.
well, no, never mind.
Why?
I was gonna say Molly Holly, but she was.
Yeah, she
Oh
was.
yeah, Molly Holly.
Molly
does
Holly
it.
was like the first name on my women's
Yeah.
list.
If we're
Yeah.
talking about disrespected wrestlers who should have had more, I would have put Victoria. on
100%.
there.
Oh yeah, dude. But luckily she was champ.
She was champ,
couple
but after
times.
like a psycho, she was in her psycho phase.
She
or
still has
whatever.
one of my favorite finishers.
She does,
That
absolutely.
Widow's Peak.
Widow's Peak, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like
I'll
her.
talk about something random. I'll do
Yeah,
that
go
real
ahead.
quick. Nikki Bella had one of the
I'm out.
actually,
Yeah.
he actually had a really good finisher, but it was Nikki Bella who had said really good.
What was her
Torture
finisher?
rack?
I don't even
the rack
remember.
attack? It was a torture rack into like a just like jump off onto your
She fell to her
knees.
knees
Yeah,
and broke
it's
her back,
actually a
dude.
pretty devastating finisher, and then they had to change it because she kept messing everyone up. So
Because she started injuring people
Yeah.
for real.
Oh, weird. One of the 4 pillars of the worst generation of women's wrestling, hurting people with their finisher. Never would have.
yeah, absolutely.
The
not.
other 3 pillars are her sister, Layla, and Michelle McCool, who only had her spot because she was married to Mark Calloway.
You know what's super weird about Michelle McCool? Now that we're talking about Michelle McCool, she's more over now as this random champion of the Royal Rumble than she ever was during her actual run.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing.
Yeah. Because I actually
Karmic
didn't,
is what I would say.
I didn't even like hate Michelle McCool, but at this point, if she like actually won the Rumble, I feel like people would be so about it.
Her peak time in wrestling was my downtime in wrestling.
100% same.
Her peak time was my
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, that was your peak time
Yeah,
too.
that was
so
my
you know
peak
all
time.
about that. Even though you forgot Layla and Michelle McCool split
Look,
the
dude,
women's
Lay Cool.
title.
Michelle ran the show. Layla was just there,
It was
Colin
Lay Cool.
Lay Cool was
Lay
not just
Cool.
there.
calling
Yeah.
Mickey Piggy James and all this crap.
Mickey James deserves so much better.
100%. What?
Do that again?
Give us a little squeal.
Yeah, give us a squeal.
Go!
Oh,
All right. Well, now that we're talking
hold on,
about
hold
this,
All right, go ahead.
now that we're talking about this,
Wait, hold on. Never mind, he's bad at this. You go ahead.
are you
No,
sure?
you go ahead. He got me on that one. Okay, never mind. What were you saying?
Okay, so now let's look towards the Money in the Bank match coming up. What we've gone over fantasy picks. We've done everything that we need there. I'd honestly, Roddy Piper not holding a championship or a world championship in WWE is depressing to me. I wasn't even alive for the time, and still depressing for me. But looking right now, who, and I mean just overall, who deserves to win the Money in the Bank match? Who deserves a world title shot? Who's been here for a while?
You mean currently on the roster?
Currently on the roster.
Can they still be a former world champ?
If you want to.
I know who I think deserves one more main event run.
Drew?
No.
Oh.
Yes, but no, that's not who I was thinking of. Genuinely,
Yeah,
I think Dolph Ziggler deserves
Okay.
one more title run
glad you said that.
in the main event.
Thought you were gonna Jinder Mahal me.
Dude, honestly,
He's a good
depending,
heel. No one's-
depending on how this tag team goes, I could see it. But no, I mean, Dolph Ziggler in the wrestling world is the equivalent in the office world of being too good at your job, so you get to help others do theirs.
Yeah,
Yes.
Like 100%, he's too good at what he does. So instead of being rewarded for it, he gets to help others be better.
you put Jordan Devlin over a lot.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
that's who I would want to see. I want to see Dolph, and even if it's not through Money in the Bank, actually, I don't want it to be through Money in the Bank. I want him to like emphatically win a match. 1, 2, 3. It's clean. He deserves this kind of win.
And who would it be against?
But have him beat Seth Rollins. I don't
Yeah.
care. I know it's not Roman Reigns. I don't want him to beat Roman Reigns. I think that
It only
storyline.
makes sense because Dolph went after the World Heavyweight Championship every time he had the Money
Right.
in the Bank too. So
Well, not only that, but like the bloodline storyline and everything that Roman is doing, I've said it before, there's a specific short list of people that are reserved to beat Roman Reigns for that championship at this point, and Dolph Ziggler's not on that list.
Okay. For me, You cannot make Shinsuke Nakamura as over as he was when he should have won the world title. Like, you're not going to get back to that point.
When he should have beaten AJ at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I don't think, like, there have been a lot of people who have had the cards in their favor who got as over as they had been at one point. I think Kofi Kingston being the most recent example. Shinsuke, that was like, you can't be as over as that, in my opinion, for him personally. I think it's going to be very hard to beat that. And as good as Triple H has been in the creative role, I don't think he's going to make that happen for him.
I could see Shinsuke being world champion one day. I don't know that it's really anytime soon.
He's running out of time.
He is
Needs
older.
to happen.
Mhm.
2 words, 10 letters. Yes, I just counted. Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode definitely deserves a main event. Bobby Roode is on that list of people that got the short end of the stick on his call up.
Absolutely.
Him and Samoa Joe, I would argue.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe not as much because he got some. I think he got some mid card titles, didn't he?
He had mid-card
had the
titles. He had a
US
really
and,
good feud with AJ Styles.
Yeah, like Samoa Joe had some time to shine on the main roster, but Bobby Roode got like the Dirty Dogs tag team, and that was kind of it.
He had a little bit of...
He had a US
Yeah, he had a
title,
U.S.
didn't he?
title.
Yeah, but how long did it take for you to think of that? He did. I agree with him. He genuinely deserves so much more.
He was
than that.
very over in NXT.
Yeah.
Like,
The orator of this sing-along generation we have now with injury.
Yeah.
cult following, if we're going to be
I don't know
honest.
about that. I
Well,
think
you're gonna say
Fandango was
Fandango,
first.
Yeah.
I think Fandango was before him, but
I
I
didn't
think
sing
he's
along
up
to
there.
Fandango,
Oh,
and I
sang
hated
along. I
Fandango.
absolutely would sing along to
everyone
Fandango.
else did though. That made like news.
He came
Like
to St. Louis.
Fandangoing, I would argue Fandangoing kind of started memes almost.
Kind of started memes.
You mean WWE memes?
Yeah, like memes for WWE. Like it was like outside of WWE, it was becoming very popular.
Yeah, slowly slide down that hill you're about to die on.
100%.
He would come to St. Louis. Everyone was Fandangoing. Everyone was
100%.
doing.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode, though, I mean, just the amount of effort he would put into his character, the amount of effort he would put into verbally reaming everyone who he would face. I think Roderick Strong was probably the biggest example of that in NXT. And they had a great feud. He had one with Hideo Itami, which also that's a guy who got absolutely he should have had a lot more than he had. Injury did help with that. Roderick
Yeah.
Strong more than Hideo Itami, in my opinion. But I feel like with Bobby Roode and his main roster debut, he had a really good debut. But just, of course, won a U.S. title, I think, against Randy Orton. Don't hold me to that. But I think
It sounds right.
Yeah.
It would have been around that time.
I had one more wrestler that I'd add to the Money in the Bank matchup that honestly kind of the same deal, but now looking at him in AEW, it just kind of maybe he didn't deserve it,
Yeah.
but Rusev, another person.
Rusev, there was a specific time in 2015, I think it was, Happy
Mm-hmm.
Rusev Day with
Never be more over.
yeah, he'll never who was the guy singing with him too from
Aiden
the
English.
Vaudevillains?
Sure, yeah. Aiden English.
Aiden English. That specific time period of Rusev should have won the world
Vaudevillains in
championship.
NXT was
That
it
was a
was
really good
really
tag team.
surprising how over that team was because their gimmick wasn't like that crazy in my opinion.
Well, that's the gimmick itself was crazy, but they just leaned into it so hard and like owned it. And
Yeah.
like I loved that tag team.
I think I thought of another person, but I just lost. Oh, Buddy Murphy. That's another one. Man has a lot of spots.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong.
There are so many people you could put into these Money in the Bank matchups that would make it like a lot more enticing.
Buddy Murphy, and I mean no disrespect
Uh-huh.
by this, Buddy Murphy would be the perfect Intercontinental Champion.
Agreed. There's
You want to know who I think got robbed in general because it was during the pandemic era?
Drew McIntyre.
Aleister Black.
Yes.
Ooh,
Mhm.
yeah.
He was in a Money in the Bank, but he had the stupid freaking roof spot where he got thrown off.
Yeah, that was silly.
my favorite NXT superstar of all time. Like
I'm sorry, go ahead.
when he came up
Mhm.
and when he just like everything he did I've never seen like, I guess I've never seen such a small individual as like just win all these matches just effortlessly.
Yeah.
They wanted him to be so over, and then just like that, I didn't understand that too much.
Two of my favorite WWE themes of all time were Aleister Black's and Ricochet's.
Oh, when he'd
they
rise
got called up.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it was so good. No, all I was going to say was to this day, I've still never seen the rooftop Money in the Bank ladder match.
I haven't either, to be honest.
Yeah.
I even told
That was
you
a dark time.
And that's the one
the
Otis
Too
won.
Heavy crew.
that is the
Yeah, we quit
Yeah,
over that. We quit during the pandemic.
I want to go back and watch all of these pay-per-views from the pandemic and see how they were.
I truly, because I did watch that WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it was so genuinely depressing
Uh-huh.
watching these wrestlers not even know or remember how to perform for an empty room. And I say remember because some of them had some time in the indies.
Yeah.
It was like 40 or 50 people. But like watching Stone Cold say what to himself was really sad. Watching Drew McIntyre try to muster any type of happiness knowing that he just won the world championship over Brock Lesnar in front of no one. And then if you didn't know this, after the cameras stopped, Big Show does a run.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Afterwards, and Drew
Yeah.
McIntyre beats him too. In front of no one. It just doesn't matter. Like, it's so depressing. I would go back and watch pay-per-views that took place in front of the Thunderdome because they at least created an atmosphere that was worth watching. But any of those just performance center era, I don't think I would go back and watch.
So many, like, the amount of people they just, like, kind of threw together because there were a lot of people who did not want to perform during the pandemic. I think Sami Zayn being the biggest one of all of
I
them.
would say Roman Reigns.
Oh,
was the
Roman
first
Reigns,
one.
yeah.
But yes, yeah.
When that happened, you just had a lot of just like random people on the roster who were winning. As a matter of fact, Zion Quinn and Shane Thorne were a tag team, and you guys, Shane Thorne, you may know, but Zion
I know
Quinn.
Shane Thorne, the other
Zion
name I
Quinn's
don't
a free agent right now. He was a part of that free agent, whatever. Which I'm still not convinced about that, but I want to go back to the pandemic era and kind of watch some of those pay-per-views and see. I want to watch the rooftop Money in the Bank matchup.
I bet there's fun shenanigans. I bet it's funny.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Vince McMahon shows up at one point or something like that. Like,
They do a spot where they go in Vince's office.
yeah, I'm willing to believe that by the time that match came around, they started figuring out how do we make this fun.
Right.
So I would probably be willing to go back and watch that match, but not really anything else.
So, while we're on the topic, favorite Money in the Bank matchup. Let's talk about that too. Go from the depressing time into good times.
I would say
And how the briefcase culminated matters.
Oh, you know mine already.
I was gonna say WrestleMania 22.
I think we talked about that last week too. I said RVD's Money in the Bank win,
All
my
right.
favorite of all time. Just seeing he finally got it. He finally was like, you knew he was going to win too when he got that briefcase. Whole crowd was over. What he did with the briefcase, which they need to go back to doing, is designing their own briefcases.
Yep.
Not stupid, like, hey, let me throw a logo on it. Do what he did. Airbrush the hell out of it. Do all that. That was probably my favorite. Let me guess. Mr. Kennedy's?
No, because
Good Money in the Bank
You know
matchup.
how that's
it was a
where
good
he
Money
went.
in the Bank matchup, but he'd lost the briefcase for an injury that was misdiagnosed.
Right.
Yep, and then never returned
nope.
from it.
Mine will always be the inaugural Money in the Bank ladder match because we didn't know. They say, "Oh, world title match at a time of your choosing," but being wrestling marks and fans, it's one thing to say that. It's another thing to actually then see that happen at the
whenever it was
end
just like cash
of
in, not
New
a-
Year's resolution. Like, oh, okay, Vince coming out. I guess he's gonna da 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 da. Oh shit, it's Edge.
Yeah.
So the disrespect you give to Shelton Benjamin after the performance he put on in that Money in the Bank matchup, running up a damn ladder.
No.
And then he T-bone suplexed someone up. Also, tangent, I did not think the T-bone suplex was that cool until Shelton Benjamin started doing it. Scott Steiner had a pretty good T-bone suplex, but let's hear it.
Scott Steiner. No, go ahead. It's fine.
No, what's
Without
yours?
Scott Steiner, we don't have Braun Breaker.
No, without Rick Steiner, we don't have Braun Breaker.
But Rick Steiner can't be what he is without Scott Steiner. So again, without Scott Steiner, we don't have Braun Breaker.
We like to talk a lot about Scott Steiner and how
Do we?
I
How can you
do.
not
mean,
talk
it's your
about
favorite
Big
promo in
Papa?
history, isn't it, Randy?
When he came
What'd you
back
say?
to the WWE,
This
that was one of the
TNA
most
promo?
over things too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. The best thing Scott Steiner ever gave to the wrestling business was his math promo from TNA.
You got a 33 and a third percent chance.
you got a 33 and thirds percentage chance, and I got a 66 and 2/3% chance because Kurt Angle knows that he's not gonna win, so he's not even gonna try. So you take your 33 and 1/3 and your 25% chances if we was to go 1-on-1. It's so funny. Go back and watch the Scott Steiner math promo from TNA. The numbers don't lie, Joe, and they spell disaster for you with sacrifice. It's so good. Go back and watch it. It's one of the best promos you'll ever see. That's Scott Steiner's contribution to wrestling.
And your Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I'm looking at him either Biggie,
Okay.
a Biggie, or at the time.
At the time.
Okay, I'm not gonna say Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is my favorite cash in, but it's not my favorite Money in the Bank ladder match win. I would say, and hear me out, because this is gonna sound really stupid for a
I know
second.
what you're gonna say.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
Actually, Damien Sandow.
Damian Sandow is one of my favorite Money in the Bank winners because
talked about
it finally started bringing forth the idea that they were going to use the Money in the Bank ladder match to bring people from the mid card to the main event.
Right.
And this was before the Miz's shadow like stunt double thing. He was still the intellectual savior. He was super hot as a heel. He was kind of over. Like Damian Sandow, granted, he didn't cash in successfully, so the whole thing was kind of moot. But like, I really loved the idea that was, other than like Jack Swagger, who honestly I think was already ECW champion by that point
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah.
He was really the first time that they were like, here's someone who's not in the main event. He won the Money in the Bank. Like that, I think that's why I really like that one.
I would argue that when Kane won and cashed on the same night, he wasn't in the main event picture.
No, but by what year was that? Like 2010 or something.
Somewhere
like
in
that?
there.
It was
Kane,
2010.
Kane by
had
that
a career
Kane
already.
by that point already had a Hall of Fame level career. So even though he wasn't in the main event, he had already been in the main event. This was going to be Damian Sandow's introduction to it, and then it fell flat.
That's one of the things where also that's the year Jack Swagger won,
Yeah.
and then won the Money in the Bank like in May, lost the lost the world title like 2 months later. Like they did not do anything right with Jack Swagger, in my opinion, as a world champion, besides maybe beating Rey Mysterio once.
Yeah.
So, my question then, we've already talked about it before, but with the men's and women's Money in the Bank this year, whoever wins it, how long do you want to see them hold it for?
Whole year.
Yeah.
I think that helps.
My
Because
answer
the last few years, it's either been same night or the next week.
my answer does depend on who wins it.
Okay, and what's your answer on that?
Well, so I want LA Knight to win, right?
But then if he wins, I want it to be the whole year.
Yeah, if LA
Yeah.
Knight wins, I want him to defend his briefcase the next year, or, so there's one of two scenarios: either he has to defend his briefcase the next year, or because he's already holding a briefcase, they don't let him into any of the qualifier matches, which means the entire Money in the Bank men's match
Mhm.
is set, and he's not in it. And if he doesn't cash in by the time the bell rings on that match, he loses it. So the entire pressure of the night leading up to the main event is, will LA Knight cash in before the bell rings on that
Yes.
match? And there's a whole shenanigans about whoever's the champ at the time avoiding him for the whole night. Like those are the two branches that you could go off of for that story. But either way, I want him to go the whole calendar year to the next pay-per-view.
I honestly don't know with the women's, off of the fact that they're getting what is ideally in the next 6 calendar days.
Yeah.
By the time this episode's out, it probably is already out. But
Yeah.
So for the women's, I would like to see something in the neighborhood of about at least 90 days.
Couple months, right?
Yeah, to give some prestige to the briefcase itself.
That's what I was gonna say, because it felt like people would win for them to get a cheap title win that same night. That's what it's been for the last few years, and there's been a reason to win it, because of course you're getting a free title shot, but there was no reason to win it to hold it anymore. Like, no one was just like, oh, I'm the Money in the Bank winner, I can make you be scared of me the whole time. There was no story behind it anymore. It was just, oh, I won, oh, I beat you 2 hours later, blah, 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 there we go.
For the men's Survivor Series at least.
You don't want it to go past Survivor Series.
No, and it's gonna catch me some flack, but I want the Money in the Bank briefcase winner to cash in on Roman.
And win?
Yes.
That's bold. Why?
But who wins?
Where's the value in that?
We've seen Roman have literally all types of matches. Been on this dominant run, effectively won every single kind of way. He's won a last man standing match against Brock, won an I Quit match against main event Jey Uso. He's won singles match. He's won Extreme Rules matches. He's won War Games as a part of the Bloodline faction.
Yeah.
Defending against a Money in the Bank briefcase winner is the only hill he hasn't conquered. And he doesn't conquer it.
Now your Money in the Bank means something.
Yes.
Well, and that's the other thing, is like, do you have it to where Bloodline helps him beat the initial match that he's in? They're still fighting with the person who, like, he was first, saying they kind of go off. Roman's still laying there in the ring, and then the Money in the Bank comes in and
Bloodline's
takes
broken at this point, which is why the Money in the Bank cash-in is successful.
Okay.
Because there's no one to help him.
No one to help, no one to deter.
So who's the Money in the Bank winner that does that to him? Because we already know who's potentially in the match. But out of this year's Money in the Bank, who would even be the one that would be able to do that to him?
Could you imagine the ego on LA Knight?
Honestly, no one's really bulked it, or like, it's not really bulked up Money in the Bank match for him, to be honest. The only two people, in my opinion, Shinsuke and LA Knight, who I could see potentially winning it. Like, no offense to Ricochet, that ain't happening.
Mm-mm.
No offense to Pete Dunne, even though that'd be awesome, that ain't happening. Santos, no.
Mm-mm.
The only story-based thing that makes sense is LA Knight, because of what he can bring to that once he wins it. But does he get that push to be like, yeah, I'm the guy who beat Roman? To have that big, so he's the egotistical person, to have that much more of an ego to be like, I beat the guy who's had the third longest reign in history.
I don't think he's gonna beat him though. Like, Shinsuke makes the most sense if we're going that route. Absolutely, Shinsuke makes the most sense. They still have 3 spots left to add.
Do we know who's in those qualifying matches? By the time this comes out, it'll all be said and done.
Yeah.
But I think you could combine your idea and my idea by giving the Money in the Bank briefcase to a Cody Rhodes or an Uso and calling it a day, because that's that. Or a Sami Zayn, who probably won't be in the match because he's got his own tag belts to defend right now. But like, that's the short, in my head, that's the short list of people that should beat Roman for the title.
Yeah.
It's either Uso, Solo, Cody, Sami.
I thought they would
maybe Kevin Owens.
I thought they would have used Cody winning the Money in the Bank to be his excuse of why he could go to the other brand
Does he have a qualifying match?
No,
Yeah, I
but
didn't
I'm
think so.
saying because he's on Raw and Roman's on SmackDown, so like the real only true way, unless it's Survivor Series or something, where there could be a co-branded match, that would have been the only true way he would have been able to get a match with Roman.
Yeah.
I'm to the point now with Roman. While a nice button up into this storyline at this point would be an Uso or Sikoa or Cody, Sammy beating him for the belt, you instantly king make somebody.
Oh yeah, I mean whoever beats Roman is the guy.
And
while.
I think you can do more with a Roman loss with an LA Knight of the world, a Shinsuke Nakamura of the world, more so than that win would do for Jay, Jimmy, Sola, Cody, Sammy.
Yeah. The Usos and Solo for sure. I think Cody could do something with it, but I understand what you're saying.
Dude, I'm to the point where it's either Roman goes the distance and does everything that I guess Vince wanted San Martino to do or whatever. I'm honestly cool with that.
He's not going to get to San Martino.
No, I don't think he will, but or take the belt off him like by WrestleMania next year. If he goes past WrestleMania next year, in my head, I'm thinking he's going to break San Martino's record. That's
Do you know
what I'm
how
thinking.
long San Martino's record is?
Uh-huh.
It's 2,800 days.
We thought Roman was going to be gone by now and
Yeah.
take a break.
I think Roman will pass Hulk Hogan's like 1,400 something,
Yeah.
maybe. Like, if he goes past, I think he's going to lose it at WrestleMania 40 next year. If he doesn't lose it at WrestleMania 40 next year and keeps going, then they will have him surpass Hulk Hogan's 1,400, whatever.
Yeah.
And
September.
then he'll drop it. He's not going to go, because you gotta figure, it's like, I think it's closer to like 8 years, but like,
Yeah.
by the time he beats Hogan's record, he has to do everything he just did again.
Right.
Like double it. Like, it's not gonna happen.
But I'm looking at history with this, and things are a lot different now. I completely understand that. When you look at what Bruno did, not only what Bruno did, in the condition that Bruno was in,
Yeah.
Roman is in much better physical shape
Yeah.
than Bruno Sammartino was.
I'm not saying he can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm saying he shouldn't do it.
And I feel like, look, you want to make this as, so in going back to your theory then, I guess, if they do make something happen at Survivor Series, or they do make something like, I guess for me, with my theory that I had, I could not see Roman losing the title till WrestleMania next year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, from what you guys are saying, if he breaks Hogan's record, then I really don't think, if Cody loses to him next year, which I think that is the only match that makes sense if he has the world title going into WrestleMania, then I don't know who the hell is actually going to beat him. Like, there's no possible way for me to like I can use so much of my intellect and so much of my knowledge with wrestling to predict so much, but no one thought that Roman would win this past year.
In my entire lifetime, I never thought I'd see a 1,000-day title reign.
Right.
Not in our lifetime. Not with what we went through in the early 2000s.
If Charlotte Flair beats Asuka in 3 weeks, John Cena will take the belt off of Roman.
Okay.
Why are you putting that out into the universe?
No.
First off, I really hate that I hate that WWE can't see 2 feet in front of their own face with what they're doing with Charlotte. And then it's such a predictable formula of has a championship, loses it after 3 or 4 months, goes away, comes back immediately, takes a title, rinse, repeat. I hope Asuka beats Charlotte. I do not want Charlotte to just come back whenever she wants and get a title and call it a day.
What's the point of the build-up for Asuka if they have Charlotte beat her? Like, they could have done so much better with Asuka's build-up. Like, they could have made her much more menacing than they have.
I'll do you one better. At this point, what's the point of Charlotte?
Okay, well.
Nepo baby.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Somebody's got to play the role of Nepo baby.
That's it.
And Shane McMahon's.
That's what it was. The exact comments that was said. Adam Pearce was like, "Get in line." He was like,
She's like, I am the line. What?
I made the line.
Okay.
I think there's like she needs to be in the spot where she makes other talent look better at this point. She's done everything she can with the women's division, and she's done a fantastic job at it.
She put over Rhea Ripley. I'll give her that.
Yeah, do that with more people. Like, there are more people, there are more stars that need to be made.
Fine, but you don't need a title to do that.
No, you absolutely don't
losing-
need it.
Her losing at WrestleMania gave her less of a reason to be able to come back and do what she just did.
You had a
Yeah.
kick-ass match at WrestleMania, too. Like, you're fine. You don't need a world title again. You don't need to keep putting her in said world title matches.
Yeah, we can use Charlotte to put people over without having a title be involved. That's what we need to do.
We always said that about Brock too, but he's doing that now finally.
Honestly, put Bianca against her. Be honest, that'd be...
That's the whole thing. I was surprised she didn't even come out.
Yeah.
Bianca's
Well,
probably
there was
going to
that
cost
backstage
Charlotte that match.
segment. There was a backstage segment before that explained why Bianca didn't come out.
Oh, well.
Because Bianca was in the back with Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce literally said, "This is Asuka's title ceremony.
Okay.
Don't come out." And Bianca was like, why would I not come out? And Adam Pearce goes, "I'll give you a title shot if you don't come out." She's like, "Okay."
Is she mad about the mist? That was another thing I wanted to say.
Maybe, I don't know.
The one that didn't.
Yeah,
touch
you
her
can't
eyes
be
at
mad
all.
if the mist got in your eyes. No mist got in your eyes. That's
Look,
another thing.
Guys, we're clearly missing the most. Title is her gimmick.
This
You're
was a
right.
Money in the Bank episode.
We're still talking
Yeah, we're
about things
still
that
on
could
the-
happen at Money in the Bank. The Money in the Bank pay-per-view could be Charlotte versus Asuka. But
Why
yeah,
would they have
no,
it the
you're
week
right.
Before?
Yeah, what?
Why would they have it the week or the day before the show then?
Dirty finish.
Yeah, dirty finish or and here's what's really gonna happen.
Charlotte Money in the Bank.
Charlotte's gonna
Oh,
insert
I'm-
herself into the Money in the Bank match, win, cash in on Asuka, and leave the London as the
We didn't even
champ.
talk about the women's Money in the Bank match and who would
We
win.
haven't
that.
gotten there yet. No. Who's gonna win the women's Money in the Bank?
EO.
Opio. Somehow I think it's
Is
going
Bailey in the match?
Yeah, I think it's
Bailey
going to
has
be
a
Bailey
qualifier.
somehow.
I think that's
she qualified yet or
She
no?
qualified.
Yeah, Bailey's gonna win.
I think Bailey's going to win, but I really want it to be
It's
EO.
gonna be Damage Control's ending, and it's either gonna be EO turns on Bailey to get the briefcase, or Bailey is like, "No, I'm the leader of this. I'm gonna get it," and then that's gonna.
I'll do you one better. Bailey wins and turns face.
That's disgusting.
Gross.
She had it. She had it all. She had all the face.
I'll do you one
traction she
better,
needed.
one better.
Dude, why do you keep doing everything better?
Bailey wins, comes back as face, and is Hugger Bailey.
I.
Side ponytail.
She had
There
it.
ain't no stopping us
She
now.
had it. She had it all. And
Yeah.
you can't.
Celebrate 'em.
She only had so many wacky waiting.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Yeah, she had plenty of those. What'd she do? She slashed them all.
Well, it would be
They're
wouldn't it be really funny if they brought those back and as they were
Is that band-aids all
flailing,
over
there's
them?
just duct tape all over them.
No, she can't come back as face. No, ew. Don't want
There
it.
ain't no stopping.
Yeah, dude, that's Vince booking.
I hate Bailey, and that's good that I hate Bailey because she's doing her job.
Yeah,
keep it
we're
that
supposed
way.
to hate Bailey. What do you think, Clayton?
About what? Fever Dream? I have no comment.
No, about who's gonna win the match.
Oh.
Zoe Stark.
I was gonna say, why is it Zoe Stark?
Zoe Stark.
With Trish shenanigans, it could be, but
Here's the thing with the women's Money in the Bank match. The champion has to be a specific person or the winner for me to buy an eventual cash in. So as things currently stand right now, I don't care because nobody's taking the belt off of Rhea
yeah.
and Charlotte's busy with the other belt. So it doesn't matter.
So do you think this has there been an unsuccessful women's cash in yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
The only thing I will take if Charlotte wins the title is if she loses it 5 minutes later. It's the only thing I'll take.
Yeah.
Breaking the all-time record with a less than a day title reign.
Well, that's my soapbox. Where is it? I need to jump on it. Charlotte is the absolute queen of I'm gonna fluff these numbers with 1 and 2 day title reigns. You could take like 8 of her title reigns and put it together, and it's like under 3 months.
Her dad did a great job with all those title reigns. He held them for a really long time, every single time.
Not every single time.
Most of the times.
Most of the time. He didn't even win his 16th world title one. It got handed to him. And he lost it like a week later.
Dude, leave him alone. He's
I'm
fine.
I'm just saying, if no one wants to talk about Kevin Nash handing Ric Flair the belt and having WCW count that. Sorry, that's a whole other thing. All right, well, I mean, is there anything else we really need to go over? I think that about calls it for
Yeah, I
this
think
episode.
that's fine.
All the action. Hit us with the socials, Eddie.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple Music.
Stop watching the weird stuff Randy does with his feet.
Keep watching. It's good. It's good stuff. In fact, let us know in the comments if you want us to post more foot content.
Find Randy on Feet Finder.
Oh, dude, let me know in the comments if you'd pay for my feet finder.
No one would that.
I'm glad we took this
World
turn.
is
Brandy's going to make a fake account just to say that.
It's just gonna be a repost of his foot video.
No, you're going to make a fake
100%.
account just to say, yeah, I would.
Yo, oh, yay!
Feet for
All
me,
right.
thanks.
All right, well, Eddie, Clayton, Zach, I'm Randy. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week, guys. No, go ahead. It's just us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you and I. Just me and the baby boy, the prince. Ow! Okay. Goodbye.